Hello and welcome back to my manga breakdown series. Now I just wanted to say before I get started with the video, I know last week I said I'd be covering both the Eternity Devil arcs and the Katana Man Devil arcs this week, but because of time and my own sanity, I'm only going to be covering the Eternity Devil arc this week. So without further ado, let's move on to the review. Chapters 14 through 21. The Eternity Devil arc. So the first chapter of the arc opens up with the members of Squad 4 who were sent out to investigate at the end of the last chapter, standing outside of an evacuated hotel, where we get some hilarious back and forth between Denji, Power, and Hayakawa, starting off with Power and Denji just being absolute assholes to Hayakawa. Then Hayakawa is able to soothe them over with a couple of sticks of gum of all things. They then go on to talk about some prank that happened off screen that supposedly went a little too far because Hayakawa doesn't even consider it a prank, and is extremely sore at Power and Denji because of it. It's also here that we're introduced to the other members of Squad 4 that were sent out with our happy trio. Before we get into their introductions though, I did just want to say I was happy with how these characters were introduced. It isn't a formal introduction like we get with Hayakawa or Power, where we got their names and a short introduction to their character before seeing how they bounce off of Denji's character. No, this introduction is closer to how Denji was introduced. Instead of getting their names right off the bat, Fujimoto, which is the writer of Chainsaw Man by the way, decides to show us their personalities clash with the personalities we've already been introduced to. So now on to the introductions. We start off with Ari. Before he enters the building, he seems brash, confident, but also wary of Denji and Power. As he should be, for the most part, because they are both technically devils and he don't know them.
That's my purse! I don't know you!
We then have Kobani, who before she enters the building seems quiet and shy, and honestly I didn't even realize she was there till after everyone entered the building. And then finally we have Himeno, who is the most interesting in this arc, to me anyways. She's obviously more comfortable with devil hunting before she enters the building. She's calm, happy, and really just all around not treating the mission like it's a big deal. Even going out of her way to offer up a reward of a kiss on the cheek to both Denji and Ari as a reward for whoever kills the devil first. More on that in a little bit though. She also seems to know Hayakawa very well and seems to be on a first name basis with him, calling him a key for the entirety of the mission, and Hayakawa doesn't seem to mind, putting her, in my opinion anyways, at a higher rank than him, or at least on an equal one. I'm not sure if that's exactly how this works or not in Japan, but it seems to me that if Denji were to pull this kind of stunt, Hayakawa just would have his head on a pike. Anyways, backtracking to when Himeno offers up that kiss on the cheek to Denji and Eri, Denji shows an extreme amount of growth, shelving his pervy nature after his last encounter with Makima, stating that he isn't kissing anyone until he kills the gun devil. And then Hayakawa seems pretty interested in this, not in a bad way, but more of a shock that Denji would say something so insane kind of way. And then Himeno says that she will give Denji a French kiss instead if he kills the gun devil first. And then everything Denji just says goes right out the window, and he's back on the perv train, baby. And now that everyone's properly introduced and motivated, everyone moves inside to the building, and it's here that I want to draw attention to why I've only been talking about their personalities before they go inside the building. And it's because this building and the devil inside pushes every single one of our brand new, fresh, and shiny characters to the absolute brink of insanity and brings out the absolute worst in each and every last one of them. So Denji and Ari rush inside, pushing each other back and forth, both wanting that kiss pretty bad. And as they do, the rest stay back walking at a normal pace, and it's here that Himeno asks Hayakawa what the likelihood of the newbie surviving is. And instead of answering, Hayakawa dodges the question, and then we're treated to a flashback where we find out that Himeno and Hayakawa were buddies at one point, which is public safety speak for partner by the way, but I forgot to mention that in my last video. Himeno, standing in front of a grave after what looks like was probably a pretty rough battle, is freshly missing her eye and her arm is broken, and then she's introduced to Hayakawa, who introduces himself as a key. Himeno goes on to tell him that he will be her sixth buddy and the rest died because they were useless trash. She then tells him not to die, and then we cut back to present day, where Himeno is just standing there and says, "It's coming." And then the door creaks open and we're introduced to the terrifyingly ugly, heartless, and ruthless monster that is behind all of the trouble in this hotel. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, really not that terrifying. Definitely ugly, but not terrifying. It jumps up towards Kobani, but freezes mid-air, and then Power takes it out, slicing it in half. Power, thinking she's hot shit, says that the devil was so scared of her that it stopped mid-air, and then it's here that Himeno explains to us what devil she's contracted with. And I should have mentioned this in my last video, but every devil hunter is contracted with a devil that helps them fight, and Himeno's devil is the ghost devil. So anyways, job well done, right? Well, not really, because after Power puts the ugly son of a bitch down, Hayakawa pulls out the piece of the gun devil and it doesn't react at all, meaning that this isn't the devil that they came here for. They start to head up the stairs of the building when they notice something strange and terrifying. They are stuck on the 8th floor, and no matter how much they go up or down, it never changes. They end up in the same place, and they even do small tests to see to what extent that they're trapped, like trying to go out the windows only to end up back in the room that you started in, or trying to go through the ceiling only to come up through the floor. So yeah, realizing that they are trapped, everyone is a little bit shaken, but still for the most part calm, except for Kobani, who starts freaking out, saying that she never wanted to be a devil hunter, that she was forced into it, and that she only wanted to go to university like her brother, but now instead is going to die here. And it's here that Hayakawa notices something that's even more terrifying than just being stuck, that all the clocks on the floors seem to be stopped at the exact same time. So that means that the devil's power not only stopped them from leaving the 8th floor, but also stopped time around the 8th floor, which means no one is going to realize that they are stuck till it's too late, so help is not on the way. They either have to find a way out, or they're gonna die here. So, hearing this, Denji, like a normal person, says that this means he has all the time in the world to sleep, and to thank the devil for him if they find him while he's out. His head then hits the hotel pillow, and he's out within a matter of seconds. We then cut to after Denji's little nap, where Himeno gives Denji, and by extension us, an update on what's happened after Denji fell asleep. So it turns out that it's not all bad on the 8th floor. They have running water and electricity, and they even have a little bit of food from the luggage that people left behind. But they're still stuck, and it's starting to weigh on everyone heavily. Hayakawa has been searching for the devil nonstop, Ari is freaking out and shut himself up in a room and won't come out. Kobani lost it and started drinking out of a toilet, and Himeno had to knock her out cold so she would calm down. And then finally there's Power, who, well, is being Power. Talking about how she's bored and thinking of a Nobel Peace Prize winning idea, so she can become Prime Minister and then make humanity suffer from inside the government. You know, like raising the sales tax by 100%. I just can't with her. So, after we get Power's flawless plan of how to take over the world, we are then treated to another flashback of when Himeno and Hayakawa first became buddies. And it's here we get a little bit more of a look into exactly what it was like for the average public safety devil hunter. How most of them die young and the survivors get blamed for their deaths because normal people can't get revenge on a devil, but they sure as hell can on a person who won't fight back. And it's also here that we get a little bit of a look into what Hayakawa was like before he was so jaded. And he's honestly kind of a nerdy goofball, worrying about cigarettes rotting his bones like he is not about to go fight things that can literally rot his bones, and sticking gum on a person who slapped Himeno as revenge. And it's because of these little things that Himeno sees that Hayakawa won't die, because like her mentor told her, the best devil hunters have a few screws loose, and Hayakawa definitely has more than a few loose on him. So, cutting back to the present, Hayakawa shows up telling everyone that the devil that Power thought she had killed had gotten a hell of a lot bigger and a hell of a lot more talkative as well, telling everyone that it will offer them a contract. They feed it Denji, and it will let them go. Hearing this, Kobani comes out of her room holding a knife, telling Denji to let it eat him, but swiftly Himeno knocks her out cold, and then starts attacking the fleshy mass. She does some damage, but not much since the devil tells her that it's not even its real body, and it starts to grow, continuing to go on about how it's impossible to escape, and the only way out is through a contract. And it's here that we learn that if a devil makes a contract, it absolutely has to follow through if the conditions are upheld by the other party. So we know that if they do agree to feed it Denji, it absolutely has to follow through and let them go. And then hearing this, Ari also tells Himeno that they should kill Denji in order to get out, saying that it wouldn't be against the law, and that if they did, they could get out and figure out a strategy to take on the devil. Hayakawa, realizing that if the devil is making a contract, then it has something to gain from killing Denji, specifically says that he won't take the contract, and Himeno follows suit. And then Power, well, you know, being Power, again, says that she will be on the kill side, so she can get out and get her Nobel Prize. But fortunately for Denji, Power, being a devil man, can't make a contract with another devil. But everyone decides to wait it out for a while, and this is where Himeno asks Hayakawa if he has a plan, to which he responds by saying if it comes to it, then he will have to use the sword, and Himeno instantly shuts him down with a firm no, saying that if it comes to it, then sorry, but Denji has to die. And then after saying this, we instantly cut to Ari, who's yelling a couple rooms over about how all the food is gone, and of course Power is the one who ate it, not thinking at all about anyone else or even about making it last for a while. And as they are arguing, Kobeni barges back in with her knife, yelling about how it's all Power's fault that they are trapped here. And then when Ari tries to calm her down and bring her back to reason, she goes full paranoia mode and starts accusing Ari of working with the devil and of being a spy, threatening him with the knife. And because of all the fear, terror, and paranoia, the devil gets stronger and starts to move towards them again, forcing everyone into the same room. And then it flips the 8th floor vertically, stating that it will become the Devil of Eternity and turns into this monstrosity. Everyone seeing this instantly turns on Denji, Ari pinning Denji down, and then Kobeni coming at him with the knife, bringing it down hard, and then... Yeah, I really did not see this coming. If anything, I figured Hayakawa would have broke here too and thrown Denji to the wolves as well. I mean, they already hate each other, and it seems like Hayakawa has literally nothing to lose from Denji dying. But it turns out Hayakawa, for as much as he hates Denji, needs Denji in order to kill the Gun Devil, saying he won't be able to do it all by himself, and he's going to need all the devil hunters with a backbone that he can get. And he doesn't care if it shortens his life, but he's not going to let them kill Denji here. So Power quickly starts to heal Hayakawa, and seeing all of this, Himeno, not wanting another one of her buddies to die, snaps, bringing the whole scene to a boiling point, while she begs Hayakawa to tell her what to do. Then Denji interjects, saying that he's had enough, and he's going to go get eaten now, but not without a fight, seeing that when Himeno attacked it earlier, it felt pain. So his plan is to torture it until it decides to kill itself. So Denji gives his Ripper a tug and dives feet first into the creature's mouth. Then, busting out of the creature's mouth covered in blood, rises Denji, chainsaws and all, as he starts ripping into the Eternity Devil, taking chunk after chunk. But the Eternity Devil just keeps regenerating just as fast, and it's here that Denji runs into a small problem with his chainsaws. They start to retract because he's losing way too much blood, but he comes up with a quick fix fast, biting a chunk out of the Eternity Devil and drinking its blood, so that his chainsaws shoot right back out, and then he shouts out this disturbing line, which reminds Himeno of something her master told her once, that devils fear devil hunters that have a few screws loose because they can't tell what they are thinking. And I think Denji is showing us just how many screws loose he has now, as he claims he deserves that Nobel Peace Prize for creating a perpetual motion machine out of his powers. And I've gotta say, I really love how Denji acts in this fight. He is totally in control, and is clearly the one on top. And it's nice because up until now, we've been seeing him come out of battles looking like this. We then cut to 3 days later, where Denji is still torturing the poor devil, cutting him non-stop and drinking whatever comes out. Finally, the devil has had enough, and not only shows Denji his heart, but literally begs Denji to kill him. Jesus Christ, that is so dark. I meant it when I said poor devil. By the end of this fight, I really feel for the dude. Could you imagine being torn apart by chainsaws only to heal and have it happen all over again? Non-stop for 3 days straight? Yeah, I think I would beg for death too as well. So then Denji quickly cuts his heart in half, putting an end to the whole nightmare. As Squad 4 leaves the building, Denji remarks on how they found a Gun Devil piece and then passes out cold from being up for 3 days straight. It then cuts to Himeno and Hayakawa talking about how Himeno wanted to throw an introduction party for the new rookies in Squad 4, saying that it will help boost morale or at the very least stop Kobeni and Ari from quitting, since they are feeling particularly ashamed of how they acted during the whole Eternity Devil fiasco. Himeno then continues saying that it was strange that the Eternity Devil knew Denji, and what's even stranger is that Makima is worried about Denji's well-being. We then cut to everyone drinking on the night out, and here we're introduced to 4 more members of Squad 4. I don't think we get their names though, we just get a slight look into their personalities at the moment. If they become more relevant later on, I'll go more into depth with it. But more importantly, we get a better look into Kobeni and Ari's personalities, when they're, not under the stress of being trapped and psychologically tortured by a devil. They both mostly fall into the categories that I labeled them into before, like Eri being mostly confident and brash and Kobeni being shy and reserved, with just a little extra sprinkled in here, with like how Kobeni is a little like Denji, in the way of not being used to having a lot of food or water because of the fact of her family being so poor. So everyone goes back and forth for a while talking, until the conversation eventually reaches the topic of the kiss that Denji is supposed to receive from Himeno. And this is when Mikima shows up, asking Denji who he's gonna kiss. And the boy is obviously conflicted, answering both in the same breath, no, he's not gonna kiss anyone, and yes, he's going to kiss Himeno. So the night continues on until Himeno eventually just grabs Denji and kisses him right in front of Mikima. But the kiss isn't exactly what the poor boy expects, because as you see, Himeno is extremely drunk by this point in the night, and well, she ends up puking directly into Denji's mouth. And since Denji has been so poor his whole life, he has a habit of swallowing anything with any nutritional value. So he swallows all of it, and understandably spends the rest of the night puking up her puke on the toilet, upset that his first kiss was ruined. Until I'm not really sure what happened, and I guess Denji really doesn't either, because everyone says that they saw Denji carrying Himeno home, but like, one, how does he know where she lives, and two, when we cut back to Denji, he seems to be just as confused on where he is or how he got there as I am. I think they're trying to imply that he's drunk from swallowing Himeno's puke, but I don't think it's really clear enough for me to fully understand how he got there, and maybe that's by design because I'm supposed to be experiencing the story from Denji's point of view. Since he doesn't fully understand it either, I guess this is just where he is, and he's laying in Himeno's bed, and she is laying on top of him, and asks him if he wants to. And that's where the arc leaves us, on an emotional cliffhanger. Will Denji get what he's been after since we first met him, or will he wait until he has a chance with Mikima? I guess the only way to find out is to move on to the next arc. But yeah, sorry about that again. I was originally going to move on right into the Katana Man arc from here, but due to the fact that I wouldn't have got this video done in time, and the fact that the video would have been 40 minutes long on its own, I decided to cut that part out and just do the Eternity Devil arc this week. So now we're going to move on to my conclusion for the arc. And overall, I really like this arc. I like the fact that it was a psychological thriller more than just like action and blood and gore and fighting. I like the fact that you got to see all the characters turn on each other, especially the new ones that we were just introduced to. You got the nice moment between Hayakawa and Denji, or specifically Hayakawa protecting Denji from everybody, even though he hates Denji's guts. It's real character growth for him. The only thing I think this arc suffers from, though, is the fact that the villain's really not that intimidating. Like, sure, his powers and being stuck there is intimidating, and like eventually they're gonna die because they're going to run out of food and water, but like the villain himself doesn't do anything. Like, all he really does is he gets bigger when they get terrified, and then he like chases them down for a couple of minutes and then flips the whole thing vertically. While yes, it does cause tension, he doesn't kill anybody. He doesn't cause me to be scared of him in any which way other than the fact that he's grotesque and monstrous. And I mean, you can be scared of people being ugly, but that can't be the only thing you're scared of. Like, eventually you're gonna overcome the fact that he's just ugly. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could make an argument also that he did rip Denji's arm off in that one scene, but like, other than that, I mean, Denji instantly rips his cord and he's back to fucking fighting him again, and he starts that whole perpetual motion machine with using the devil's blood, and then just all around turns the devil into a little bitch after that, literally torturing him for 3 days. But yeah, other than that, that was my only real complaint with the arc. I wanted to apologize again that the Katana Man arc isn't in this video. I just knew that it would run the video on for way too long. And honestly, I wouldn't have had it done till like Saturday or Sunday, which would have been fine, but YouTube algorithm would have forgotten about me after today. So yeah, guys, catch me next week as I cover the Katana Man arc. And from this week on, I will only be covering one arc at a time. So I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you all next week. Peace.